Hey gamer, welcome to the video. Today I have a very special episode for you. This video is a gift to everyone who has subscribed after watching one of my many Skyrim modding videos. Today I present to you the ultimate Skyrim mods load order on Xbox Series X and Xbox One. Pay close attention because I will go into every detail I can to avoid you any trouble for installing these mods. The goal of this load order is to improve every single area of Skyrim, and for this I will use mods from my new researches, the best mods from my previous videos, and also mods suggested by you guys in the comments. In fact, for many suggestions that made their way into this load order, I want to thank Crazy Deeds and Miguel Coronado. Let's begin right away with many technical details. Now, this video is split into categories which you can easily navigate through the timeline down below. Plus, for each mod I will explicit a subcategory like this example on screen. On top of this, in each mod is indicated a size token, which means if you don't want to install all the mods of the video you can opt to use the load order version small, which has the less mods, or the load order version medium, which is the middle ground between the full and small versions. This will help to scale down the scope of this list for older consoles. To make it easier for you, the mods are listed and linked at the bottom of the description and in a pinned comment along with all these details. In total, the mods of the Ultimate Skyrim load order will occupy all the 5GB. There will be 76 mods in total, which initially were a little more, but I had to remove a few to accommodate the 5GB limit on Xbox, and the weight of each mod will be included in the video. If you want to install the full load order, I suggest you to delete all mods as follows. Go to your Xbox Home and close Skyrim. Press Start on Skyrim. Go to Manage Game and Add-ons, usually the bottom option. Go to Saved Data, and finally go to Reserved Space to delete it. You can easily distinguish it from your saves, but still be careful. You are not forced to delete mods in this way, but it prevents that annoying Skyrim bug which says you don't have enough space to pop up. If the game says you don't have space when you have it, delete the reserved space. If it doesn't, delete mods normally from the mods section of Skyrim. Also, when you have finished to install the mods you want, wait for Skyrim to reset itself, and when it finishes be sure to close it and reopen it before starting to play, so that you are sure all changes have been applied. All the mods of this video, except one, are suitable for already existing characters. But in case you want to make a new character on purpose to play with this load order, before installing everything I strongly suggest you to only install the mods that I will mark with NC, which stands for New Character. After you complete the game's intro with those mods only, which means getting to Riverwood, you are free to install all the others. Note that I will specify which is the only mod that recommends a new character, and although I will mark a few other mods as NC, I will only do it for convenience, not because those other mods require a new character like that particular mod. There is also a big difference between the Xbox One version and the Xbox Series X or Series S versions. On Xbox One, you will need to install the Uncap FPS mode to make Skyrim run smoother than the usual 30 FPS. The mod will be linked in description in its place for the load order, but I will not mention it when listing the mods in the video. For Xbox Series X and S, you need instead to activate the FPS boost made by the console itself. If you don't know how to do it, you can check the video in the top right corner or in description. Many of you guys commented that with many heavy mods we used in the past, Skyrim still ran perfectly in 4K, but since my TV can only do 1080p I can't guarantee myself. Also, since I don't have an Xbox One anymore, I can't guarantee for the Uncap FPS mode to work as well as the FPS boost of the Series X. But just as for the 4K performance, I received positive comments on the Xbox One performance with Uncap FPS as well. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that I will also use some old clips in this video. When that is the case, there will be a white border across the video. These were all the technical details. So, let's move on to the mods list. Alright, the Foundation mod is of course the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. This mod fixes many bugs that Bethesda left in Skyrim, plus it also makes some minor quality of life improvements and adds new lore-friendly items from previous Elder Scrolls titles. After this first mod, I installed QOL and Bug Fix Compilation, which includes many minor mods that improve the overall experience with Skyrim. Some features examples are auto-unequipping ammo if you're not using a bow or a crossbow, better textures and meshes overlaps, and Dawnguard hunters not attacking cured vampires. For the full list of features, check this mod's link down below in description. Alright, now it's time to make Skyrim's gameplay better. Let's start with Character Creation Overhaul. This mod reintroduces the birth sign and class selection features of Oblivion into Skyrim Special Edition. Thanks to it, you are allowed to make more than 200,000 different combinations when creating your character. The mod also comes with a book to manage its options. Although it's not mandatory, Imperious Races of Skyrim is the mod that recommends you to make a new character. Thanks to it, each race in Skyrim gets new stats and abilities. For example, Argonians can finally breathe underwater again. Right, this is where I would put the perk overhaul mod, but for compatibility reasons there are two magic mods before it. Fenric's Magic Evolved adds a lot of new lore-friendly spells to Skyrim that make magic more engaging and varied. The second Xbox mod for magic is Arcanum: A New Age of Magic. This mod adds many new spells to Skyrim as well, and the ones of this mod are in my opinion the best, since they have very unique features and mechanics that make magic far more compelling. To overhaul Skyrim's perks, I chose Ordinator Perks of Skyrim. I did use this mod in my own playthrough, and it really made the difference in making Skyrim feel much more fresh. Some perks that I really loved were the sneaking roll and the ability to perform for some cash, and I'm sure you'll find many new interesting ones between the lots added by Ordinator. The last big magic mod is Apocalypse Magic of Skyrim, which also adds a lot of new spells. Some of my favorites were Summon a Wall, Long Strides to run super fast, or Pale Shadow to make a duplicate of your target. After Apocalypse, you also need to install Apocalypse Ordinator compatibility patch if you also plan to install Ordinator. Summer Mist Enchantments of Skyrim includes more than 200 new interesting enchantments for your clothes and weapons. A few that I remember are a per hour gold generation or long-lasting magic charge on your weapons by direct soul harvesting. As always, there are more info in the full description of this Xbox mod. Okay, at this point we can improve the melee combat. The most important mod for this is Wildcat Combat of Skyrim, which adds new mechanics such as timed blocks with a shield and many overall improvements to combat AI. Before everything else, make sure to customize its settings from its magic spell within powers. With mortal enemies SE, NPCs will really try their best to win, with better strategies, skill and usage of shields. Plus, this mod will make so that any blow dealt by any animal or with any weapon will hit in a more precise way instead of being an aimbot like in vanilla Skyrim. By using the ultimate dodge mod, you, and also NPCs if you want, will get the ability to dodge. Be sure to customize the options of the mod from its new spell in the alteration category, and also read its description because it requires some more attention in case of uninstallation. Search and Destroy, extended combat range and stealth searches makes so that NPCs hunt you down for longer periods of time when sneaking, or for bigger distances if you are fleeing. This makes them more realistic and compelling. I like a few animations sprinkled in games to give them a little more immersion, so I installed big, more kill moves and decapitations to get final blow animations more frequently. Archery Tweaks is the core archery mod of this list. Thanks to it, arrows are much faster and NPCs react more realistically to archery combat. After it, you need to install Archery Tweaks Ordinator patch to make it work properly alongside Ordinator. And now this is where archery really improves. Fenric's Arcane Archery will add many magic arrows in Skyrim, craftable under the Steel category. These arrows are also balanced to not be overpowered, so that it's actually fun to play with them. After this mod you also need the patch Archery Tweaks Fenric's Arcane Archery patch. Alright, loot is a very important part of Skyrim, so it must feel rewarding. For this, the first mod we are installing is Awesome Artifacts, which requires the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. Thanks to Awesome Artifacts, the unique items of Skyrim receive a balanced and lore-friendly overhaul to make them better in combat. The main loot mod is Morrow Loot Ultimate. Thanks to this mod, rare items become a little harder to find so that they feel much more rewarding, and you will not see bandits goofing around with stuff like dragon scale armors, which doesn't make any sense. Be also sure to install the patch mod Awesome Artifacts MLU patch to make these last two mods work together well. Cloaks of Skyrim is an amazing immersion mod that adds cloaks for both the player and NPCs. In order to make one, you first need to craft the book Frieze the White Nordic Tailoring at a tanning rack. I recommend to steal a couple of paper rolls from the mage Farangar in Whiterun to do it fast. Once you made it, you'll be able to craft a lot of cloaks, hides and burlaps at tanning racks. I consider this next mod as kind of a patch for the cloaks. Cloaks of Skyrim Retextured 1K makes cloaks look better and fit with the graphical improvements we will make in this load order. Obis SE organized bandits in Skyrim will divide the various bandits in subclasses and the various gangs in subfactions to make them more varied and more interesting to fight. The mod has a book to manage its options, and I noticed it took something around 15 minutes for the mod to activate itself. Populated Lands Roads Path to Legendary V3 adds many more varied encounters throughout Skyrim, and is the most important mod to make the world feel more alive. And in case the war quest is not over, sometimes you'll see big battles around Skyrim. With immersive patrols, there will be a reasonable amount of faction patrols around Skyrim to give that extra life to the world. Epic Krebs Lowbringer Plus allows you to claim certain areas around Skyrim for a faction of your choice. You can do that once you have defeated all the enemies in it. Wear multiple rings makes so that you can wear an indefinite number of rings, but be sure the rings' effects, materials and names are as different as possible, because in some cases the mod doesn't let you wear rings that are somewhat similar. Thanks to Zim's Dragon Improvements Light version, dragons will have a name and a unique tooth to loot. And to make them even more interesting, I also installed Talkative Dragons, but keep in mind that this mod doesn't have localization, so install it only if your first language is English. Surdilic Minotaurs, Mihail's Animals and Monsters, adds some amazing Minotaurs in Skyrim. They are very strong and it will take much time to be able to take them out easily. The mod Ogrim's SE adds this new Daedric monster to the game. Thanks to Wraiths SE, Skyrim now features Wraiths. I was able to find some of them in the swamp near Solitude. Goblins, Mihail Monsters and Animals adds goblins to Skyrim. There are some friendly ones in Orc Strongholds and many aggressive goblins around all the land. Beast Skeletons will add Orc, Khajiit and Argonian skeletons in some selected places around Skyrim for a more immersive experience. With the mods Argonian Hatchlings, Children of Tamriel, and Khajiit Caravan Kittens, Children of Tamriel, there will be a few Khajiit and Argonian kids in Skyrim. You can find the little Argonians under the Riftend's docks, and the kittens just outside Solitude with the Khajiit Caravan. The only sounds mod you need is Immersive Sounds Compendium. Listen to these clips. Little reminder, if you have any trouble with the load order, check this video's description and the pinned comment. If it's not enough, feel free to comment and I'll try my best to help you out. Or if you want, you can check the video in the top right corner. Alright, for the Retextures category, there will be all the mods that improve textures and or meshes. And since they are pretty much self-explanatory, here they are. Lockpicking interface redone. Skyrim Creator Overhaul. Lean Wolf's Better Shaped Weapons SE. Changes NPC clothes, elaborate textiles. Vanilla Armor Replacer. Guard Armor Replacer 1K. Authentic Legion Replacer version 1K. Emedian-born Bone Mold Armor. Emedian-born Ancient Nord Armor. Emedian-born Glass Weapons and Armor. Tempered Skins for Males Smooth. Tempered Skins for Females Smooth. AUF Believable Hair. Nether Eyes. And The Kids Are Alright Episode 1. VAE Visual Animated Enchants makes so that when you hold a magic weapon, it has an actual graphical effect to indicate its power. And the more is powerful the enchantment, the cooler the effect is. By combining Enhanced Blood Textures and Enhanced Blood Textures Darker Add-on, fighting will be much more bloodier and realistic. To overhaul the magic particle effects of Skyrim, I installed the mods Fire HD, Voltage, and Transparent and Refracting Icicle and Frost Etronach. By the way, the latter also improves the ice textures and items such as soul gems. And now it's time for the big graphical overhaul. The base mode of graphics spec is perfect to improve cities' interiors and exteriors. Skyline Imperial Forts and Dungeons improves all sorts of caves and dungeons. Cathedral Landscapes V3 is the most HD and lightweight landscape mod. Cathedral 3D Rocky Shores adds actual rocks in rivers' shores. Majestic Mountains greatly improves mountains. Glassy Water 4K is the most beautiful and stable water mod. No Snow Under the Roof improves the look and placement of the snow. Divine Trees is self-explanatory. Simply Darker Inferno Fire Effect Light makes interiors darker and fires more beautiful. Cathedral Night Skies Blue Lore 4K is the HD Night Sky mod. Equality World Map replaces the usual Skyrim Ensor's Time maps with a better one. 2021 Cathedral Weathers and Seasons adds a lot of beautiful weathers, skyboxes and color grading options for Skyrim, and you can manage it from the magic spell under the Powers category. And finally, Array SS Shaders and Effects adds stick effects for blood, snow and more for the player, NPCs and your screen. This mod also has a book to manage its settings. For the final touches, I installed Color Patches Remover to fix these horrible visual bugs of vanilla Skyrim, followed by Female Sitting Animation Replacer, which instead changes the non-eating sitting animation for female NPCs, and finally one of my favorites, Skyrim is Windy, makes the wind effects on grass and trees much more prominent without impacting the performance. I was really impressed by the combinations of this mod with Cathedral Landscapes and Cathedral Weathers. If you need any help, you can either check the video in the top right corner or leave a comment. Subscribe for more variety gaming videos. I'm Chris, the gaming enthusiast, and you've been inside the hidden Oddbox. Check out more videos if you enjoyed, and as always, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and game on!